Hi guys and welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, I want to look back at the subreddit Am I the Arsehole? Because I really enjoy it and I keep seeing so many posts on Instagram yet again. Well, it's Reddit, there's new posts every day, there's new ridiculous scenarios to talk about, so that's what I want to do today. But first, before we do that, let's get into today's sponsor, which of course is Raid Shadow Legends. God, what do I like about this game? Only everything. It is the best game that I have ever played on both mobile and desktop. Sometimes I like to sit there, one hand on my computer keyboard, other hand on my mobile and just dual play. I'm not like those other gamer girls. Did you know there are not one, not two, but 16 factions in Raid Shadow Legends, including High Elves and my personal favourite for obvious reasons, the Lizard Men, though the High Elves come a close second because who didn't fancy Legolas in Lord of the Rings when that came out almost 2 decades ago? I mean, if you just want to relive that fantasy, then play Raid Shadow Legends, the cultured man's Lord of the Rings. What's more, out of the Lizard Men faction, my favourite Lizard Man, personally, is the Basilisk. You can tell he's my favourite because I've got him the highest level, at level 23. But what I like most about him, besides his sweet sense of style and that axe, is that he does critical damage 50% of the time. Right, so for September 2020, Raid has just released a huge champion update, tweaking and rebalancing over 20 different champions to make PvP battle arenas even more competitive. And if that's not enough, the Forge just came out, so now you can save time and start crafting top quality artifacts and competing right away. Go to the video description, click on the special links, and if you're a new player, you'll get 50,000 silver, plus 50 gems, plus 1 energy refill, plus 1 clan boss key, plus 5 mystery shards, plus 1 day XP booster, plus 1 free champion, the Executioner. All this treasure will be waiting for you here. Anyway, a big thank you to Raid Shadow Legends for sponsoring today's video. Cheers mates, let's get into this. I'm just going to sort by top and over the past week. Honestly, I could literally do one of these videos once a week, and on one hand, yes, that's so lazy, but on the other hand, wasn't the original point of YouTube just to share things you like with people? If Zoella can build a multimedia empire and have a millionaire mansion because she used to go, oh, what's in my bag today? Oh, bit of chewing gum, what a surprise. Why can't I talk about Reddit once a week? Because the topics change all the time. I feel like no one's told me that this is lazy content. I think this is rather standard content for YouTubers, but I just feel like I need to battle my corner. I'm not like those other YouTubers, I have this. Anyway, am I the arsehole for yelling at my parents that their polyamory fucked up my childhood? Why am I smiling? That looked really callous. I'm just smiling to them on camera. Edit, to all of you who DM'd me to tell me about how fucking great polyamory is and that you're mad I gave it a bad name, you have issues if that's what you take away from this post. I believe it started when I was around 6 years old. My parents often had friends over in the house. I didn't know they were polyamorous, of course. One day I was outside playing, got hurt, and when I ran inside, caught my parents making out with some random guy. They told me they have other adults they love, and it's completely normal, not random. Me being a child just accepted that. They gave up being secretive, and their partners would constantly be around, even joining on outings. I remember that on my 10th birthday, they invited 3 of their partners, one of who I'd never met before. And for the rest of the day, my parents just withdrew from my party and hung out with them. Oh, well, this is just bad parenting, isn't it? I never saw them doing anything explicit again, but they would kiss their partners, hug them, make flirty comments, something that would be normal between parents, but with many more people. Sometimes I came home from school and my parents were gone and there was some random adult in our house. Some of them seemed surprised that my parents even had a child. That's just not really safe, is it? If, like, you're a kid and then there's a random adult, like, that's just not, this is just bad parenting. I think they would have been bad parents without the polyamory, but it's just manifested in this way. I always hated it, but since my parents had told me that it was normal, I assumed many adults probably all did similar things. It's just an adult thing all kids hate. Later they had less partners and they eventually seemed to stop. Not that I know for sure because I moved out when I was 17. I didn't think about it anymore. A year ago I started therapy. As usual, the topic of my upbringing came up and it brought back many feelings I wasn't aware of. I realised although my parents were always good to me, I'd never really felt close to any of them and still have a lot of resentment that they made me feel like I had to compete for my parents' attention with random strangers. A while ago I visited them and they told me they were going to take part in a documentary about polyamorous families and the producers would like to include interviews with the children. Oh. So they would love if I could agree and tell everyone that polyamory doesn't mess kids up. All my resentment bubbled up and I said that I cannot agree because I would not be able to say anything positive. My parents looked shocked. I had never brought this up before and asked why. I unloaded it all. That I always felt pushed aside. We barely had any family time without strangers intruding. It turned into an argument and I became loud and yelled that the truth is it did fuck me up and they shouldn't have had a child if their number one priority was fucking the whole world. My mother cried and my father said I should probably leave, so I left, but I was shaken up for the rest of the week and I was quite regret because I've never made my mum cry before. Later my father sent me a message that was like, we are sorry you feel that way, can we have a calm discussion about that soon? Even though I tried to, it's like I can't reply. This argument has brought up something very emotional in me. Honestly though, I think any child would resent not getting attention of their own birthday because their parents just want to like fuck some random, but like even if it was just a monogamous relationship but your parents were just giving each other all the attention and no attention on you, any child is going to be resentful for that. So not the arsehole. Am I the arsehole for FaceTiming my wife in the store? I, 42 male, got a call from my wife, 40 female, when I was getting off work and she asked me to pick up some pads from the store. I asked her to send me a text with a picture of the one she uses to make sure I got the right kind. I get to Walgreens and I cannot find the kind she texted me, so I FaceTimed her in the pad aisle and was showing her the section where her brand is to see if I could find another kind. About 30 seconds in, a woman comes up to me and tells me I am being inappropriate and she was going to report me. Mind you, my wife is on video of me this entire time. I tell my wife to text me a backup pad that I could get her and end the call. Right as my wife is texting me, a man, store manager, and a female clerk come up to me with the woman behind them and he asked what I'm doing and that he got a complaint that I was behaving inappropriately. I explained that I was there to buy pads for my wife and I couldn't find her brand. I told him that since I didn't see it, I called her on FaceTime. The woman then started shouting that I was taking pictures of her and I was lying. How do these people exist? What the fuck? I showed the manager the text from my wife and oh, you know you're not the arsehole. Oh God. Positing a scenario where you are clearly in the right just for Reddit karma. And this is why I hate Reddit. Kind of. I showed the manager the text from my wife and I told him I just wanted to get my wife her pads and leave. The manager and the woman went up to the front of the store and the whole time she is screeching to him that he needs to call the police and have me arrested for being a pervert. The clerk stayed behind and asked if she could help me find what I needed. I agreed. I showed her the box my wife texted me and they were out. She then said this other pad of the same brand would work just as well. I texted my wife a picture of the pads the clerk picked out and she said they were fine. I paid for the pads and left, and when I got to the car, I cried. Oh, I feel really bad now about saying that this is all made up. I mean, it might still be made up, because that totally just worked on me and made me change how instantaneously, I went from, oh, fucking Reddit to, oh no, I'm so sorry, this man cried. I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt and I'm going to assume this is real. I'm so, cynical and nasty this week. It's my time too. I'm very, I have no chill. A grown-ass man crying in his car. I have never felt more embarrassed and humiliated in my life. When I told my wife what happened, she went pale and hasn't stopped apologising to me. Was I the arsehole for FaceTiming? I don't think I was doing anything wrong, but is there some unspoken rule about the pad aisle I don't know about? Oh no, now I feel really bad. I feel really sad for him. I feel like I'm going to get upset. See, I'm hormonal. I should be really discussed. I don't know what my excuse is actually, because last week I wasn't. Well, you're always hormonal, but 80% of my audience is women. You know what I'm referring to, right? Last week I wasn't, and I was almost crying over that cloner game. Now I'm upset about this. This is horrible. This man was shopping for his wife's sanitary products, and some bitch had to start yelling at him. Why can't we all just be nicer to each other? Did we learn nothing from Bill and Ted? You sound like a good husband. Some people are literally just nut jobs, and there's nothing wrong with being I was going to say an adult man and crying, but there's nothing wrong with being a human and crying. It's perfectly normal and reasonable, even if some of us do cry over PS1 games that are over 20 years old. That's still perfectly fine and reasonable as well. I'm going to switch up. I want to go on to some ones that are under the asshole tag. Am I the asshole for distancing myself from my son after I found out he's gay? I mean, the short answer is yes. Before you judge, please read everything. I kept it short. I'm not blaming him for this. Yesterday, my son, 16M, male, obviously, I'm not thinking properly today, confessed to me and my wife that he is gay. My wife was counselling him, telling him it's okay and we will love him no matter what, but I was just speechless. I know it's not his fault he is gay, and I definitely don't hate him for it. But at that moment, I just felt like my heart dropped down to my stomach. I never imagined my son, the person who would inherit my family's name, the man who I raised from a child to be a man, would turn out gay. You know he's still gonna inherit your family. It's not like, oh, I'm getting out the closet now, time to change my last name. What do you mean? What are you talking about? He's still going to inherit your family name. I don't see why people get so funny about names that much anyway, because names are basically imaginary. I think about this all the time. My real name, I'm not actually my real name. I'm literally just a human existing. You know, I'm not an Alizee, I'm not my real, actual name. I was given that, but I'm not actually that. And then that scares me, how it's, no, I'm literally just a nameless, faceless human, another one of countless billions that have lived and died on this earth. That scares me. I get upset. I'm not saying the concept of words and having nouns and naming things aren't useful, but they only kind of exist because we agree exist. Like my rat's Elon and Musk. They don't know they're called Elon and Musk, so they're not Elon and Musk. To them, they're just rat 1 and rat 2. I'm just human 9 billion for what, do you know what I mean? Anyway, no existential crises today, please. My son realised I was not okay with it based on my reaction. It upset him even more. He kept insisting for me to say something, but I just couldn't. I left the house and left my wife to let my wife handle this. Handle it? Handle what? You should have a conversation. When I returned home, my wife acted extremely cold with me and told me that she will not be talking to me until I go to my son's room and apologise. I told her that I'm still upset about this situation and will talk to him once I feel better. I know I shouldn't have reacted like that, but it was difficult to control my feelings. Now you guys read everything. Do you think I am the asshole here? Yes. Talk to him once you feel better. It's really difficult for someone, especially like he's 16, it's very difficult for someone to come out. I know it's 2020 and a lot of things regarding sexuality has been normalised, thankfully. We do have more open conversations about it. But for a lot of people, it's still quite hard to come to terms with their sexuality, because ultimately humans do want to fit in. It's an evolutionary advantage for us to all fit in a group, because it increases our, chance of survival in the wild, blah, blah, blah. So that's why we want to fit in social dynamics. And if there's something that makes you unconventional, quotation marks obviously, but if there's something that makes you unconventional, you do worry a little bit about it, worry about what the reaction from people. So it takes people a long time to come to terms, unfortunately, because I don't give a fuck about sexuality. I don't give a fuck about sexuality, gender, just do what you want, just don't hurt people. It's kind of that's my standpoint for life, really. Do what you want, don't care, just don't hurt people. And don't be mean about Keanu Reeves. That's my entire life philosophy summed up. So obviously, his son would have been grappling with these insecurities and doubts about his sexuality for years. Finally, he feels like he's able to tell his parents, and his dad reacts by, it's like all of his fears kind of manifested in that moment, and his dad just didn't say anything and walked out. So yes, you are the arsehole. Everyone on Reddit is hella mad at calling this guy homophobe, because it is homophobic behaviour, but he is saying he knows he shouldn't have reacted like that. I don't like how it's all, once I feel better, because this situation, the primary concern should be your son and how he's feeling. I always talk like these people go and watch these videos, but they're not. People just get very egocentric, don't they? Well, I'm the one who's upset at the moment. No, your son, your child is upset. But he does say, I know I shouldn't have reacted like that. So I don't think that this is irredeemable, you're acting like an asshole. But I definitely think that it's something I think he seems a bit willing to come to terms with it, especially if this is legit, obviously, disclaimer. But if he's gone to Reddit to ask and to view other people's opinions, then potentially the relationship between father and son can be mended and they can talk about it and da, da, da. Am I the arsehole for yelling at my fiancé for giving my dog away? How on earth did you get up there? My best friend Kelly passed away 2 years ago. We were both childhood best friends. She adopted her dog Leo 7 years ago and I became attached to him. He was the bond that made our friendship stronger. When she passed away, I took him in a few months after she passed. It felt like she was right there every time he runs in or cuddles me. I recently moved in with my fiance. He lives out of town and brought Leo in with me. I could sense that my fiance didn't feel comfortable with having Leo live with us. He sat with me and asked if we can offer him up for adoption since I was busy with college and he was busy working. I told him the story behind taking Leo in and he sort of dropped it. During the last couple of weeks, I was visiting my parents and asked my fiance to take care of him whilst I was away. He said okay. I called every night to check in on Leo and I could hear him bark in the background, but a few days later he stopped. My fiance told me he's outside. I came back and I noticed Leo was gone. I waited till my fiance got back and he sat down and explained that while he was out with Leo, a family approached him and asked him if he was putting him up for adoption and said they were willing to provide a home for him, since their son, who didn't let go of Leo, lost his dog who looked around the same age as him. He said he felt sorry for the kid. Bullshit, bullshit. He said he felt sorry for the kid and decided to give them Leo. I was in shock. I lost it and yelled at him there wasn't his place because Leo was mine. He lashed out saying I was hurting his feelings and overreacting. I told him when he needed to get him back. He just gave me their number and told me to handle it. I've had a hard time trying to get him back and I did eventually. I packed up and moved back to my parents. My fiance is calling and apologising, saying he can no longer pay for rent on his own. I didn't reply. My family says I should forgive him and get over it, but I just couldn't. I fucking hate toxic families so much. It proper winds me up to no end because my parents are like, they're great and they're super supportive. I'm lucky, I've got a really supportive, really good, immediate, close family unit, you know? Firstly, this person shouldn't be your fiance anymore. If any partner of mine got rid of my rats or when I get a future dog or what the fuck ever, that's it, they're out of there. Like, full stop. The fact that his concern is more, oh, you're hurting my feelings and you're overreacting, you gave away a fucking dog. Firstly, it's not your place to do that. But secondly, animals, interesting, just watching my rats like somersault around their cage. Animals are not just commodities that you can just like give away or throw around. They're living creatures with feelings and they bond with people. They're not just like yesterday's jam or an old TV or whatever. I hate everyone so much. I'm getting so fucking mad. And the family being like, oh, you should just get over it. No, she should fucking dump her fiance. What the hell are you talking about? And the fiance's concern is, oh, I can't pay my rent now. Not, hey, I'm sorry for being an absolute cunt. I hate people. I hate being humans. Being humans, like there's several of me in this, like I'm the master from Fallout 1. But this person also needs to be tough and dump this guy, like just block him out your life. You don't need that type of negativity. Get a new fiance, get a new family. I'm kidding, no, it's not that easy. That annoyed me, so we're gonna end this video here. If you enjoyed it, do remember to like, comment, subscribe. Thank you very much, Rachel Legends, for sponsoring this video. And follow me on Instagram. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.